A tasty beverage indeed, Summer. We're going to be raising a glass to the only person over here that predicted OG, GG Monty.
Oh, yeah.
6 out of 6, right?
I am 6 out of 6 so far, at least this week. It makes up for my miserable second to last place finish last week.
I think I've just heard a word from production that I believe you're in first place now on the leaderboard. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look after that game from OG, cementing the win here. It's going to be Monty taking that first place. Alan down to 4th.
It's a nightmare, isn't it? I was winning before that game. First map before we got this in the bag, guys. And then it's all gone to pot since then. And Monty, this points lead, I'm not sure.
You know, I'm used to being in this position in other games, but this is a first in Counter-Strike, so...
It isn't a great look for us, really, is it?
Well, you know, it's not exactly fair that I could just come in and dominate prediction contests in whatever game I'm in, but, you know.
You'll be moving to the analyst role next, Monty. Tomorrow, tune in for Monty's debut as an analyst at Flashpoint.
No. That would actually be a tragedy. I wouldn't even wish that on Flashpoint fans. So,
Walker, we need to speak about you as well. It was actually you, me down in second to last place. I mean, James still has a substantial difference in points to you, but are you getting nervous at all moving down to
not
there?
really. I could like randomly pick at this point, and I'd still beat James. Let's be real.
I mean, I just don't think James is going to have a lot of chance to come back tomorrow. I mean, negative 1,800 is that's a tragic misstep in terms
to go
of
like
the points.
750, dude.
You know, really, what I learned last week is just how to allocate the points, right? So that basically I got lucky by getting all 6 right, but I allocated my points in a way that it really minimized risk, also minimized upside. But I know that I'm playing not to lose, so accidentally I'm winning. But I'm mostly playing not to lose, not to win, and by doing so, I am winning.
Yeah, well, it's only the forfeit, isn't it? Nobody really wins here. You just don't lose.
Exactly.
In these pinnacle points
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going big on like the underdogs or anything like that. The 50-50s I just picked right, but I didn't have that many points. I only had 250 on OG, right? 750 on big. And I almost lost that one, so.
Well, let's talk about our winners for a moment as well. We can't just make it all about us here at the Blinds, but we've of course got to talk about OG managing to cement that win. We didn't predict that was going to be happening up on the desk. And I think a key point that you guys brought up was the adaptations that we're seeing coming out of OG. Was that what impressed you so in that last map?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially they seem to start to put more players towards mid, which was so important because they just kept losing that B site. This was a really weird game of Dust 2 because normally I think the more common site to hit is the A site on Dust 2. But this game, I was trying to count with my fingers how many rounds are ending on B. I ran out of fingers. I ran out of toes. Like so many rounds ended on that B site. That was ridiculous. But fair play to OG. I think they did a really good job at coming back into this one and having that good CT side. Alan was saying it earlier, that was going to be so important for them. It set them up really nicely.
Yeah, in that game on the first half, the first few rounds were super scrappy. It was all over the place. There were frags all over the place. But what we saw from OG is a really great adaptation mid-game. So I'm fairly sure in this series they prepped really hard for this, actually, from seeing how those games played out, particularly on Inferno and Dust 2. What happened on Dust 2 was, on T side, VP'd love to try and exploit mid with Buster and Yakindo. They like to get really aggressive, fairly contact heavy. They just like to kind of walk out and try and take fights. What they were doing was they were playing a bait setup in mid with Issa close mid and then Alexi B AWPing. And this is a really great way to shut down that sort of play. So in this series, I'm fairly sure OG put in a lot of prep into this one. I think Alexi, particularly on Ents when he was playing for them, that team was really famed for having a lot of great prep with how they came into games. I think we saw that here. Maybe that was an aspect we neglected going in. Maybe we didn't think of that so much. But seeing how it played out, I think OG really deserved this one in the end.
They did indeed. And with that, I believe we can check in with the one and only Alexi B after that victory. Thank you, Alexi, so much for joining us. Congratulations, first of all, on that win.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat. I want to firstly ask about obviously coming off that first map where you received that loss. What do you think the main issues were there on Mirage? And was there anything you were doing, differently, maybe saying to the team coming into that second map of Inferno?
I think we just didn't wake up at all because we have a lot of agreements and this game we didn't stick to them. For example, we had some man advantage situations where we get control of something and then we just completely give it up and try to get control of something else and we don't even plant the bomb on it or anything and we just die one by one, right? But we have these agreements and if we actually stick to them, all of these like scenarios where we have the man advantage, we would have won them and the T side would have been much more in our favor. But then again, like we prayed for Yekindar mid and the guy still managed to create so much havoc that it's really hard to play against him. but I think we will just only learn from this loss.
Yeah, that was something that we were picking up on the desk. Yakinda just looks so dominant there on that Mirage. I want to open it up to you guys here at the table. Any questions for the lovely Alexi?
So I've got one question. It's actually about Virtus Pro. So for us on the desk and watching the games, it feels like Virtus Pro get a lot of things right. They look really good to me at this tournament compared to how we've seen them kind of earlier in the year. So what are your thoughts on Virtus Pro? What do they need to change to go to the next level? Do they feel like a really good team when you're playing them in the server?
Yes, I don't think they need to change anything, honestly. I think they have a really sick group of individuals, and you could see once they picked up Yakindar, they completely changed as a team, in the danger zone, I think. And I didn't even feel like bad or anything at all by losing the first map. I just knew they're a strong team and they can do this if you let them get away with it. But I just think they need to grind and keep playing more as a team. I think they will do great damage in the future.
Any other questions, Hawker?
Yeah, I've got one. Alexi, in terms of when you're preparing for games, I think I've noticed with you guys, you seem to switch around your T sides a lot depending on your opponents. So, for example, one of the previous games I saw you playing on Dust 2 against, I think it was against FaZe, you were going long a lot where they had Olaf back in the lineup. In this game, you were hitting B way more often. So how does your preparation go? Are you looking for very specific things that you can do to win rounds, or are you looking to change your overall game plan depending on your opponents?
Yes, but I can answer yes to anything. We do small adaptations. We do bigger adaptations, most likely depending on which team do we play against, what the individuals like to do, how they approach the game. And yeah, obviously we did a couple B explosions here, and they were only one guy B. And to be honest, this wasn't too much of a pre-game read because they like to stack B a lot actually. But I just felt it, and on the previous game against Gen G, we completely failed all of our B stuff. So maybe it's kind of like a mind game thing as well, because I know going into another Dust 2 and bringing those same B explosions again, maybe VP doesn't think that we are going to do the B explosions because they went horribly wrong the last game, but we just did the same exact strat and there was only one guy B. So it's more sometimes feeling as well. But yeah, sure, like against FaZe and against many other teams, there are a lot of tendencies you can try to catch on, but you cannot obviously think that all of this will work 100% of the time, but that's some of the chances you have to make.
I wanted to ask about your kind of confidence going forward as a team as well. I know when we spoke to you after, I believe it was a Cloud9, when you were saying it was a huge morale booster for the team having come off that loss against Gen G. So now that you've placed first in your groups, how is this affecting, the mentality of the team going forward? How are you viewing yourselves in regards to the other competition as well?
I mean, after starting slowly, after failing IEM Beijing, I think it's really sick that we topped the group now. And after losing 3 best of 3s in a row, now we've won 3 best of 3s in a row, I think, or something like this. I don't remember. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that we're shifting momentum, and I really hope we can get it to where we don't have these losses, and it really takes our mental game away, that we can just pick it up after a loss or two. And right now we're showing that we can pick it up, but I just hope that we can be a bit more consistent on it.
Yeah, is that kind of affecting the comms at all? Because I know that's something I've talked to pretty much every single player about on the OG side. I know that's been a topic that you've always wanted to be improving as a team. When we've been listening into some of them, sometimes in maps it's very clear and concise. Sometimes it seems like they can be a little more cluttered. So do you feel like that's something that you're working on consistently and it has been improving for you in these last 3 best of 3s?
Yes, we've improved a lot. We're also made a lot of work in between the games because there is a time span before the other game. So we're also fixed a lot of the stuff. But the main affection is mostly practice, because after you have these horrible games or you drop out of a big tournament, and then the next day you have practice, you can only guess if certain individuals take losses way more harder than the others, that they might not be there 100% on the practice. So it takes a couple days for everyone to be back on form. I think this This goes to every pro team there is. But I'm just glad we can look back to those losses as something we have improved on, because right now we are looking solid again.
Yeah, you are indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys carry on here at Flashpoint too. Alexi, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Congratulations on that win once again. And we'll be seeing you at the playoffs of Flashpoint.
Thank you.
Always lovely to get to check in with Alexi. Always gives such in-depth answers as well. That's something I really love about him. It's not
I appreciate
too...
it. I appreciate it. He actually takes the time to think about what you're asking and then give a real answer. You know, not revealing all the strats, but revealing enough that it's interesting, right?
Learn some points, Fnatic.
Well, I think now that we've sort of wrapped up the CS for today, we're going to be moving on to a fun segment. I say fun, I'm going to neck this drink back whilst we intro our Flashpoint flashbacks. Enough to scare the living daylights out of everybody. So here at Flashpoint Flashbacks, we're going to be taking a bit of a rewind to some of our first times on camera, the good, the bad, and the very ugly indeed.
Oh, right.
We're going to start off with possibly the worst one. I know it's going to be the worst because it's going to be me. So I think we can take a look at my first time on camera, which I believe was ECS Season 5. That was where we did the stuff together, Hawker, wasn't it? You were doing casting there as well.
What does
Did the
that
stuff
mean?
together?
Did the stuff? No.
I was not aware of any of this stuff.
What does that mean? That's a crazy euphemism.
Oh my God.
But first, we have two
Oh,
incredible
no,
semi-finals to get stuck into. Of course, I'm not alone for this incredible day of games. We have an amazing crowd
hate
and
it so
so
much.
ready
It's the
to
same.
cheer the team.
What was this, like 2 years ago?
You can hear how nervous I am. It was 2 years ago.
Also joining us for the ride are
That
some of the
turn,
best
man, I had
minds
to
in
really
CS:GO.
practice that turn
So
to the
without
camera.
further ado, over to you.
Back to the ECS Season 8 finals. My name is C.R.A.E, your desk host for the duration of this weekend, and of course, I am joined by
This
London's
wasn't that long
and
ago.
No, like your,
This last year when you
This
desk
was
hosted
last
it,
year.
yes,
Yeah.
even your hair is like exactly the same.
Right? I
somehow.
really
Well, I don't know. This is
haven't
supposed to be embarrassing.
Where's Sean?
Maybe this grey hair is embarrassing for Launders. Maybe that's it.
I mean, you know, Sean Gare's not on a Counter-Strike broadcast. Seems
Oh,
like
this-
today.
This was where he pretended to do the... Remember this when the skins came in to see
Now we
us?
can get in.
What was he
and
doing?
people were blending into the maps.
Oh, the
That
player
was what he was...
skins, yes.
Yeah, the player skins.
a few words.
Okay, the best thing I've ever done. I'll always... The first and only time that Zywood has done an interview at that moment. That wasn't... Okay, I thought there was going to be worse, but there's definitely worse shit out there on me.
I don't even know why you guys are embarrassed about this. Like, none of you have been doing it this long. I started in 2005.
We'll get to you, Monty. We'll get to you, I'm sure.
There's probably way more embarrassing shit from me.
Well, we're going to get into Semler next. I'm interested to actually see what his first event
was. On the Good Studio? Is that where he started? Or
Yeah,
was
good
it before
studio.
that?
It could have been.
Oh, no.
We didn't even go all the way back with
Right, so
Semler.
this is at DreamHack Stockholm 2014 when he falls over. So
Oh yes.
here you go.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Right, oh man, they can't hear me.
And this is ESWC where they had a load of tech problems.
I mean, this is. But he did StarCraft before this.
He did,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Bloodline
yeah.
champions.
Yeah, this
and all that
is-
stuff.
my lips right now.
Yeah, collection of old stuff we could find.
If they can read your lips, so suddenly
How
you really-
different
oh,
does he
you're not
look?
online
It's
anymore?
insane.
If you're online, no, it's online now. All live. So am I just like talking to everybody?
Anders
going
owns a
live
suit
right now,
jacket?
I guess.
The real surprise is Andrew's
Oh, this
clothing.
is...
Here we
Gotta
go.
love this. Oh, wholesome.
Look at what you made us do. It's what happens when you get to Sweden, right? It's what happens when you get to Sweden.
Okay, I guess not. Okay, so
Anders just looks like he's
We're
hating his
setting
life
to the
right now.
Yeah.
Paula touched
The
on
suits,
exactly where I
man.
wanted to
I
go, the
can't
Zeus
get
topic.
over
We've got
it.
a collection of Zeus kills from this series, but it's now a part of the meta, being only $100, and I think might have been you, Yanko, or maybe it was Pallate.
I think this is the major qualifier for DreamHack Cluj, if I remember correctly. I think this is Yanko's first event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was meant to be observing, I think, and they called him onto the analyst desk.
Who invited you this weekend?
Well, you know,
I remember it
here, so I
correctly.
gotta try and help him out a little bit, you know, in spirit.
That wasn't too bad from Fender. Tripping over on stage, you know, he handled that gracefully, though.
He did his best.
He did do his best. I believe we've got Thorin up next. If I heard that correctly. Oh, yes, here we go.
The amazing competitors, the amazing talent that we had on the broadcast.
Look at those moves. Why didn't you bring that to the Flashpoint desk?
I'm sure he will if you ask him to.
I feel like he almost looks older here with the beard than he does now.
Oh, Richard. They're animals, mate. They're Fox fans.
That was a good one, yeah.
It's intensified under those bridges that they live in, where they eat the human feces. They're just animals, mate. I don't know what it is, but yeah. I'm okay now, yeah. Luckily, their aim is as good as Fox's, and their natural ability.
Still
I could dodge a lot of it, and I got past it. Yeah. I sidestepped it all. Don't worry.
Well, I'm glad that you're back with us. I was really worried for a moment.
Was this DreamHack London?
Yeah, this is DreamHack
Yeah, I
London.
think so.
Yeah, great event. Absolutely fantastic.
That's the real surprise.
I can't get over the beard. You're really right. It does make him
It
look
literally
older.
makes him look older than he is now, honestly.
That's so funny. Wow. That didn't seem that too old. Well, actually, something that isn't going to be too old, Alan. It's your first time
Is it?
on camera. Let's relive it.
The great
It happened
Forza Envy series.
only 2 weeks ago.
Very memorable.
The 4-1, the contact plane
What a
gets super
debut to
aggressive.
have.
I think they put
Forza
so much
Envy.
I don't know which death
on
segment we're
Envy's
actually in at this
communication.
point.
That's
The
what I
first
really
two I was like
enjoyed
absolutely
about the
terrible,
So
and then
on
for like
that
the last two, it
front,
was
they've
on
got
like
an
pure
advantage on the
adrenaline
flip
for me.
side.
Nice.
So they got
Yeah,
a lot
how-
better.
Good job.
How was it?
Really
How was
slow,
like the
really
first
slow.
time
You know
experience
sort
for
of issues
you?
from
Like,
outside.
were you super nervous?
Oh yeah, that's probably the scariest.
What are we
thing I've
talking? Are we
ever
talking
Yeah,
about?
no,
first one
that
out.
came out very wrong. Sorry.
Say
Phrasing. Phrasing.
But no, yeah, I was pretty. Actually, this isn't even the first day because that was with Potter. But yeah, pretty nervous going into that first one. But to be honest, that series was so bad that I just forgot about like how nervous I was because I was so tilted throughout the whole game in the green room. And
I too use anger to improve.
exactly, that's how it's done. So yeah, that game was so bad that I forgot I was on camera. So there you go.
We've got Hawker up next. Can you
boy.
remember your first time on camera?
I mean, I guess they'll have chosen the thing from the caster challenge.
It must be.
The ECS one, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
And again, this isn't from that long ago, but I do look a fair bit younger. Also, what is my hair? What is going on there? Like, I've put something in my hair, but it's still just fallen down on top of my face, which is just awful.
Who's the 12-year-old you're casting with?
As Dinko. Still looks about 12 years old to this day, actually.
To be fair, he was only. Is he 16 here?
Yeah, 17, I
He
think.
was very, very young. And you both did a great job.
I like how I busted out my best shirt from Primark as well for this one. Lovely
Always.
stuff.
Man.
Which game were you casting?
On this one, I don't remember. I remember casting Cloud9 with Skadoodle, which was good fun.
Oh, yeah, because everybody remembers Dingo going Claude 9.
Cloud9
James
in his
Bardoff
Northern
could
Irish
not
accent. Yeah.
get over that. It was amazing.
I also have no clue where to look here, so I'm looking straight at the camera like almost all the time.
That must have been. Did you cast in front when the crowd was in there?
Yeah,
well?
we did. That was pretty tight.
Yeah,
That's still
yeah.
probably the biggest crowd I've casted in front of, which is a
Yeah.
bit weird because it's like the first like LAN event I did.
The UK crowds are sick, though, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, yeah.
The UK crowds are
Yeah.
amazing. Well, Monty, we've got yours coming up next. Can you remember exactly?
I mean,
where
I
this
told
would be
them
from?
what clip to take. We'll see
Okay.
if they took it. It should be from 2012.
Apparently, we didn't use that. We found something else, maybe something even better. So let's take a look at it.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember because I watched this live. I'm trying to remember how old I would have been when I watched this. Probably, honestly, I wouldn't be surped.
How old are you now?
I'm 22 now.
Oh,
7
okay.
years ago, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you were
Yeah.
14.
So I was
Or
14.
15.
You were, yeah, almost 12.
There's Crepo. Rip. He's actually still a friend of mine. But yeah, we got this
Oh,
too.
nice.
This is from the World Championship qualifiers in 2015.
Are you on the left here?
Yes, we dressed up as Shen because there was a meme about WTF to Shens from the blind pick games of League of Legends in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hello and welcome to the League of Legends. With me is Shen, and today we see if WTF
Two Shens!
It was a great gag.
No one
Nobody
could've
knew we were
expected
doing
that.
it. And the best part was when we
Lights
came out
on
on
him,
stage, like
absolutely
you couldn't tell it was
obvious,
us, so
right?
nobody knew,
exactly.
and they just saw the Shens.
This looks like something that could be in your wardrobe now as well, Monty. It fits pretty well.
It's true. It's true.
Did you bring it with you? You could
No,
whip it
I
out
did
for the
not
finals.
bring a Shen costume with me,
Disappointing.
tragically. There were a bunch of jokes about Shen being the absolute worst ninja of all time because he just screams shit. This is from when I was coaching CLG.
This is a good one.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
I was waiting for something.
I made this out of cardboard and glue the night before as a joke for the fans when they did this interview with me.
Nidalee shot GG. Win one game.
Win one game to give
That's
the
good.
fans false hope
hope.
did turn into a giant meme
But you know, we've
later.
we've got some new strats prepared as well.
As a result
such
of this.
Dexter
This
goes
was
back
fun.
to jail, and we sub in Kobe again. We're really looking forward to playing as a Moo. So we're going to give it a spin, see what comes up today.
I literally made it out of an Amazon
It's
box.
split push with
Oh,
solo
no.
AD carry. Sure we can get that going for you guys.
I think we would have done that regardless, Monte Cristo. I don't think you could convince him otherwise.
I mean, this is pretty much my entire job as a coach right now. I just spin the wheel and read it to them.
Good
That is
times.
amazing.
Good
That's
times.
amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, the earliest one in there was 2013, so there was a lot. There was a lot before that mercifully has been lost to time. See, that was the advantage of casting before Twitch and YouTube existed, is that all the video footage from the shit I was doing in 2005 no longer exists.
Yeah, true.
Which is, a mercy. It's very. I mean, I've joked about this before, but actually the clip that could exist, but I know does not, because the entire internet has tried to find it, was when I said about the MLG event I did in 2012. The producers made me interview Dyrus's pillow, and there's a screenshot of it, but there is no actual video footage of it. It was scrubbed from the internet by MLG immediately when they realized how terrible it was.
Oh.
So that is the thing that could exist that I'm most glad does not exist.
Well, I believe we've got James Bardolph up next with some of his highlights from a little bit of a throwback. These are going to be golden. All of these ones in the old Face It studio.
This is Devil Walk on the right, formerly of Fnatic. He won a major in 2013, and then
Devil Walk 1 major, Simple 0 majors, of course.
Rest in
He's
peace.
a better player.
I don't know if there is any context needed for this. I feel like with
No.
all of the Face It stuff that they were doing, it was just let's find something, anything.
All of these are online games, so the whole time it is like pure filler.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
cast is just pure filler, and most of these are probably like 4 a.m. to be honest.
One of my favourite ones with James was when he got Scream up on, I guess it was the casting desk with it. Oh, apparently it is in here. And he spins the wheel and Scream. Like Scream's a pretty ripped guy. It's just a terrible spin. Hopefully we'll get it up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And James is just like, what are you doing?
Get into the
You
zone.
absolute idiot.
I love how awkward Dan looks in all of these as well. He just has no clue how to
He just
react.
has to go along with it.
Ooh, E-League. Oh, right. I remember this.
When you spell my name wrong,
One of James's many fashionable looks.
this is what happens.
I'm sure we'll get
My
more
face
of that
hurts and I
here.
can't breathe, Dan. So let's make this snappy.
You sound very nasally.
Oh, the
Okay,
nade
guys,
falls
welcome
over as
back
well.
to the Face It Land finals. As you can see, NIP won the trophy with Crims as a sub because
All of my stuff, thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. Locked in the toilet. Couldn't make it out, guys. So Olofmeister, not Crims, had to step in.
So
we're gonna spin the
Here
wheel.
we go.
Do you know what's going on right now?
Can I do that?
You want to do it?
Yeah.
That is the. Oh my god, whose idea was it to let Scream spin the wheel?
Well,
that's literally the worst spin
To
I've
be honest,
ever seen.
I went to the gym yesterday and I don't feel anything, so I'm gonna try again. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you
Let's
can't.
go. This is good.
Yeah.
Marginally better.
Okay,
I think we should just
I'm
stop
scared.
here. I think we should just. I think this was enough. All right, guys.
Try hard, but then there's trying too
Oh my
hard, isn't
God.
there? Look at this by Bardolph.
Preview of what to come.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Iconic.
Is that one of those new
Did he like?
unlockable
So
characters?
I guess he specifically had this suit
Yeah,
just
I want
ready,
to
or
know
like
what
how does that go?
Yeah, I want the story behind this.
Yeah.
I want the context. James, if you're watching, we want to know why.
Just why?
Why? Where?
That's a
as
question I
well?
ask James all the time. Why?
Why, James? Why? I wonder where he got that from.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, you know, we have plenty of time to ask him after the show, of course.
Noveltysuits.com.
I believe we've got Anders up next. This is the final one we'll be reviewing.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
that hair.
God.
Not the hair, Ann. That ain't it, buddy.
That's
He looks so different.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think
Looks like the hair loss really saved him from himself.
On Dust 2 or on Nine, it doesn't matter that much who wins. But on Training you, it really does matter. So we just got the news.
His hair color doesn't. I didn't think he'd have really dark hair because of his beard. I thought he'd have like brown hair.
Yeah.
We've got Lurpus there on the right as well. Rocking a tash.
This one, it's a community-funded event. You know, Valve have been.
Never knew
I was
why
talking to the
Lurpus
Valve
grew
guys
his
earlier,
moustache.
and they were
Just doesn't work
really
on him.
proud of him. You could kind of tell. And they didn't feel, you know, they just felt like, well, you know, we took the money from the community and then we gave them this event, and we were interested to see how much they'd sort of, you know, show up for it, how much they'd give back. And I think this has gone beyond all expectations. So
Good burst. He reloads quick. He's up back.
Oh, this is iconic. Always.
Oh my god! NIP, they win the second pistol round as well.
Another patient.
Oh no.
A little medicine for the doctor.
So good.
Can we appreciate how good Anders was in
Why-
that skit? Some of
He
those
was great.
angles.
Why can he wear a button-up shirt for the skit, but he
Yeah.
can't wear one on? Like, I just couldn't get over watching him in that stupid T-shirt with Semler with the tie on.
he's been doing it for like 3 days now.
Somehow it's gotten even more offensive. I think we're probably going to have to start implementing a dress code for only Anders at this event, because he clearly can't be trusted to do it
Well,
himself.
tell him that he's Professor Anders. You know, he's got to come with that persona to every single match. I think he would love it. Imagine him doing that sort of analysis whilst he was casting the game. I'd love to see that. Absolutely love it. But I think with that, we can begin to look forward to some more matches that are coming up at Flashpoint 2 tomorrow. Monty, it's going to be the last chance qualifier. So that means 2 teams will still be going to the playoffs, but 2 teams will be going home. It's going to be Dntel versus Forza and then Gen.G versus Envy for this next one. Do you want to just give a bit of context as to how Envy got in here? Because obviously they were in that 4th place and it was to do with the round differences, right?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is our tiebreakers are based around matches won. Now, if you're in a 4th place team, you've lost both of your matches, so everybody's at 0-2 there. Then it's about maps won, right? And you know, they did actually enter into a tie with contacts in terms of maps won. So then we go into percent of rounds won instead, and Envy. I think won by about 1% of rounds won, so they do squeak in. Gen.G is our best 3rd place team based on these same criteria, although with the 3rd place teams it was much easier because we just had to go to maps won, because Gen.G is 3-3, so being 50% when you're 1-2 in matches is about as good as you're going to get. So Gen.G will be facing Envy as the top seed versus the bottom seed, and Dignitas Vi and Forza were our middle seeds. Now, there is no double elimination here. We already gave them the double elimination. So this is the triple elimination, and the winner will just go on into the playoffs.
Yeah, it really is the last chance for a lot of these teams. Any thoughts going into tomorrow? Any teams that you're expecting to see going through?
I mean, I was just going to say, I love how Monty has basically described Envy getting here as being like slightly less shit than the shittest teams. Like, that's a hard sell for tomorrow. But I think the games will be fun. I think Envy should do better tomorrow. I think they've got the players.
I mean, they've had another week. Like, literally, Envy
Yes.
hasn't played a game since late last week, so
Exactly.
they've had, 8-9 days just to practice for this one match. Now, they didn't know it was going to be versus Gen.G, but you would hope that they would, shore up their map pool, have a long time to review their own gameplay in the first part of this tournament.
Yeah, certainly with this format, you've just got no excuses, really, if you don't make the playoffs, because you've just got so many chances, especially for a team like Envy that placed last in their group and still got this opportunity. If they lose that best of 3, they can't complain at all about not making the playoffs. In terms of those matchups, we're going to take Gen.G to win that first one, and the other one, Forza. I think they're probably actually quite cut and dry, those series, but hopefully they Dig and Envy show up a little bit better. We can get a good series out of both of them.
Yeah, potentially. James Bardoff is definitely going to have to be betting on some of those underdogs if he's hoping not to do the forfeit on tomorrow's blind spot. Speaking of
I think
the devil,
he is hoping to do it. I think that's
yeah,
the reason
he's
behind
got
it.
to be.
You don't just bet on Dig.
Yeah. He's going to have to do it again tomorrow, surely, to live up to the meme. Speaking of the devil, though, he's just sent me a message on WhatsApp to give some context for that wonderful suit. He said it was for a Christmas jumper day. I found it in Macy's. Word for word, for me, like a glove, because I'm full of sex. That's it. And I think that's what we're going to end out the show on today, gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here at the Blind Spot with me. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow for more of our last chance qualification matches to find out who will be going straight through to the playoffs here at Flashpoint 2. It's all going to be kicking off at 1 p.m. GMT here at the Flashpoint Twitch channel. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. Thank you for all the viewers at home watching along as well. And we'll see you same place, same time tomorrow.
Trash.